Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to episode 1 of Whiskey and Words. I know I'm finally getting around to doing this after putting out feelers for it several months ago on Facebook. Sorry. As you can see, I've already got the whiskey part started without you. Sorry, not sorry. Now would be a good time. If you want to pour yourself a drink, go ahead and do that now. All right. The goal here is to create a platform for awesome people to get together, have a couple of drinks, talk about awesome shit. Nothing in particular, whatever is interesting. If you know me, you know I have an interest in deep philosophical conversation, so that's what we're going to start with today. I'm going to go a little bit heavy, maybe a little bit controversial. I think this is a good topic to kind of get everybody's interest if they're going to be interested. If this is too heavy for you, then it might not be the type of thing you want to follow. There are a lot of podcasts out there that feature celebrities, actors, scientists, doctors, whatever, talking about the normal things that they do in their life, which I follow a lot of those podcasts. I enjoy them a lot, but I kind of want to flip the script a little bit, and I'm more interested in normal everyday people and the extraordinary experiences that they have, or the crazy, whacked out thoughts in their heads. We've got a couple of people that seem to be interested in doing this. It's been tough to line up people to do episode 1, so we'll see how it goes. The reason I want to record this is if you have a one-on-one conversation with somebody, you can certainly learn and grow from that experience. But then it just ends there. If you record it, you can share that with millions of people. With technology and social media these days, there's no reason to keep that experience between two people. Certainly there are things that you don't want out there in the world, and I understand that. But for the most part, talking about philosophical topics and how people feel about them, you can certainly use that to spark conversation amongst all the people you know, and that's what I'm hoping to do here. This isn't going to be a facts and information, news, current events type of a thing. It's just conversation and opinions and, just a chat. So if you're looking for the news, don't look here. If you're just interested in thinking a little bit about life and the universe and the cool shit going on around us, then this is for you. So watch the rest of this video and let me know what you think. So for episode 1, I do have a very special guest, astrophysicist and author of Astrophysics for People in a Hurry, Mr. Neil deGrasse Tyson. Neil, thank you for coming on. No, he's not here. That would have been a pretty awesome episode 1, but no, today's just me. Maybe someday he'll be on later down the road. We can talk about this book and how awesome it is, but for today it's just going to be me talking about this book and how awesome it is. The reason it's just me is, as I said before, it's been tough to line up a person for episode 1. Number 1, because of schedule. Number 2, I haven't really had any kind of substantial framework set up for this. It's just been an idea that I've been throwing around. So I figure, based off of the Facebook post you might have seen several months ago, which was just text that resulted in a bunch of thread of conversation underneath, that went pretty well. This is going to be the same kind of content, just in an upgraded, better delivery format. So I want the same thing. I'm going to talk a little bit, maybe 15 minutes or so, and then after you watch the video, go in the comments, let me know what you think, and we'll start another conversation. And hopefully this will be a good springboard to episode 2, where there's somebody sitting across the table from me and we have a long-form conversation, and we'll do it live. So if you want to interact, you can comment live and we'll see if we can respond to some of those comments. That's where I want to go with this ideally. We'll see what we can do. All right, so astrophysics for people in a hurry. I just finished this the other day. I was reading the last chapter, and there's some things in here that Neil deGrasse Tyson really articulates well that I've been thinking about for a long time, and at times I thought it was just me, so it was nice to see somebody else thinking the same things, and that's what inspired me to go ahead and finally get this going, make episode 1. And so I'm going to read a couple of sentences out of here. Shouldn't take too long. That'll start the kind of idea that I want to talk about, and then we'll go from there. So the purpose of the last chapter of the book is the cosmic view comes with a hidden cost. So he discusses that while he's gazing at the stars, chasing a lunar eclipse around the Earth, looking at the data for dark matter and dark energy, he often loses sight of Earth. He says, sometimes I forget that uncounted people walk this earth without food or shelter, and that children are disproportionately represented among them. He also says, sometimes I forget that every day, every 24-hour rotation of earth, people kill and get killed in the name of someone else's conception of God, and that some people who do not kill in the name of God, kill in the name of needs or wants of political dogma. And sometimes I forget that powerful people rarely do all they can do to help those who cannot help themselves. I occasionally forget these things because however big the world is, in our hearts, our minds, and our outsized digital maps, the universe is even bigger. A depressing thought to some, but a liberating thought to me. He references children and how any problem for them, whether it be a spilled glass of milk, a broken toy, or a scraped knee, is the biggest problem in the world because they lack perspective. They don't yet know that the world doesn't revolve around them. And you would think as adults, we would have grown out of that concept. But if you look around you, you'll find that a lot of people do still act as though the world revolves around them. So he says, part the curtain of society's racial, ethnic, religious, national, and cultural conflicts, and you find that the human ego is turning the knobs and pulling the levers. Now imagine a world in which everyone, but especially people with power and influence, hold an expanded view of our place in the cosmos. With that perspective, our problems would shrink or never arise at all, and we could celebrate our earthly differences while shunning the behavior of our predecessors who slaughtered one another because of them. That's all I want to read out of the book. Again, Astrophysics for People in a Hurry by Neil deGrasse Tyson. It's a great book, quick read, big letters, small pages, good for dummies like me. If you're a dummy too, check it out. And as I said, I finished it, so if you'd like to borrow it, first come, first serve in the comments. I'll hook you up. He talks about religion and politics a little bit in that chapter, but that's not really where I want to go with this. It's more about perspective. So these days, we don't look to the cosmos as much as we used to. There's a lot of reasons for that. The biggest reason for sure is that we live in cities with a ton of light pollution. You look up at the sky at night, you can't see anything. You got to be out in the woods, top of the mountain in the pitch black, looking at the stars in order to see the beautiful canvas of space and be amazed by it. Also, for maybe religious reasons, people seem to think that we've been put here on Earth and so has everything that we need to survive and live a happy life. So why look to space when everything we need is right here? That might be true. It might not be. I don't know. Some people are afraid of what we'll find out there. Other intelligent life maybe, that who knows what they'll do to us, or based on how we treat each other, who knows what we'll do to them. Maybe you don't think we'll find anything at all. But the biggest issue, I think, is the vastness of space, the infinite. People fear the infinite because compared to that, our life seems insignificant. And maybe it is. And as Neil says in the book, that can be a depressing thought, or it can be a liberating one. The reason that is if you consider the grand scheme of the universe and you compare your life to it, of course it seems insignificant. But if it is insignificant, then there's no game to be played that's laid out in front of you, which means there's no silly rules. There's no fate guiding you. There's no obligation to some guy upstairs. There's no puppet master. And there are no strings on me. That can be scary because if there is no plan, you can do whatever you want. People cling to a plan because they're afraid of being in control of their own lives. If you accept that you are insignificant, you're just a piece of dust stuck to a bigger piece of dust flying through space, then you're free. Every decision you make is your decision to make. Everything you do is your choice. You can live your life in order to be as happy as you can be, in order to be fulfilled and satisfied with the decisions you made that day. Again, that can be scary. Certainly saying there are no rules can be scary. But if you accept this philosophy, there's really only 2 rules you need to follow. Number 1, like I just said, every day live your life to make yourself happy and enjoy this short amount of time we have, this miracle that we call life and consciousness that we have on earth. Enjoy it. And at the end of the day, be satisfied with what you've done. Rule 2 is just as important. Take every opportunity that you have to make sure that the people around you are able to do the same thing. If you have a community of people working toward that same goal, then the borders fall away, the silly conflicts we have fall away, all of our silly human problems become as insignificant as I just said our lives are, and all we have to do is try to be happy and make each other happy. And what could be better in life than that? Those are the thoughts that I have. What I want now is for you guys to think about what I just said. If you want to tell me I'm full of shit and I should just stop making videos, then that's fine. If you want to say, I agree with you, I never thought about that before, that's great too. All I ask is that in the comments you be respectful. We're just here to have a conversation. I'm not here to debate anybody. I'm not here to question your beliefs or convince you to believe the same things that I do. I just want to chat, see what everybody thinks, and again, we can all grow and learn together. In the future, it doesn't have to be this deep and philosophical. If you want to talk about sports, from baseball and football to curling and disc golf, I can be all over that spectrum. Music, art, comic books, food, exercise and nutrition, politics and religion if we have to, but more so on the philosophical version of that instead of red versus blue, left versus right. I'm not really interested in that. But I look forward to hearing what you guys have to say. If you want to talk about the quality of the video, I can certainly use the feedback. I've not done this before, so my talking style, I know I can improve on that. I say a lot. I'm going to work on that. Again, ideally, there's another person sitting across the table from me. It'll be a little bit slower paced, long-form conversation. That's what I want in the future. Whatever you got, let me know. We'll start a conversation. We'll see where it goes. And if you're interested, maybe you'll be on episode 2. Until then, thank you for clicking on this and watching through the 14, 15 minutes it's been. And be excellent to each other. Have a good night.